had a magic band that was linked to someone else's account, but my ticket was linked to my account. So like at the gate, I had to get them to link the two together.
Okay, well we can,
So we might have to do that.
if you're on international and you're watching this video and you want to try to link your Disney ticket to the app, let me know or stop by my office. Okay, so I think I finally got the video to work. Welcome. Everybody have a good spring break?
That wasn't long enough. Went to Disney World.
You're a glutton for punishment. It's usually the happiest place on earth, but you will pass by that 5-year-old who's just having a mega tantrum. It's the angriest place on earth. Although it must be terrifying when it starts raining and it's just all these yellow ponchos floating all over the place. Okay, so let's talk first about the International Convention. Those of you who are going, I handed out the itinerary. Those of you who aren't going or don't know what International is, it's the annual convention for all of the chapters. Some people come from as far away as Guam. And some from, there's a couple chapters in Europe and Africa, not many. Germany. Yeah, with the PTK Instagram had happy birthday wishes for
I didn't even see
one of the vice
birthday. I
presidents.
just saw his face. I was like, I'm just kidding.
Liking keeps growing. But the International Convention is a series of seminars on various things having to do with PTK, like the projects, but then also we have cool guest speakers a lot of times. I'm not real familiar with the guest speakers this year, but they're almost always great. So
if they were like a word original, I like the speakers at regional.
yeah, the speakers at regional were really successful, I thought. I really liked the teacher who has cerebral palsy and all that. He was very inspiring and interesting, and I'm like, I want to have him for a teacher. In addition to that, it's also competitions. There's a speech competition, scholars poll, and then also we find out the winners for scholarships and things like that. And we get to spend an afternoon at Disney and network and meet people and get to experience someplace else besides rural Alabama, which can be a very useful experience because many of you are going to end up having to work in a city when you're out of college. So, yeah. I thought I was going to work in a city, but I love it here, so it worked out just fine. Okay, so those of you in the International Convention, on Thursday we're going to meet. I will have a coastal van that I will be going to Bay Minette to go pick up on Wednesday, so everything should be set and ready to go.
Is that like the ones that athletes have taken, like the small?
It's going to be more like the one we took to regional. It's a 15-passenger van.
Oh, the one on the side. It's just gonna have coastal inside.
Mm-hmm. I think it's going to be that gray one that the Bay Minette chapter took to regional. They're taking the bus to International, so because they had a lot of signups and they like to take the bus because it's good advertising for college. That's what we do. We stay on brand, and it is important because you want to make sure that people who maybe it didn't occur to them to go to college, are aware that there is one here. Induction. We need to finalize our plans for induction. Let me get my calendar out. I'm trying to remember the date we set. Well, it doesn't appear that we set a firm date. Okay, so what day of the week do you think would work best for induction? Would you like to do it on a Friday when you're guaranteed to not have classes? We'd like to do it in the middle of the day. Last year we did it at what, 5 o'clock? That worked for everybody? I would think that a Friday in April might be most successful. On the 12th, we have a dive session. 19th is Good Friday. 26th might be our best date. Why is that?
Maybe the 26th.
Why is that?
Sorry, maybe the 33rd.
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean, unless we did it like in the morning, like
it's the honors
it's
part?
the honors and or the
Okay.
leadership and that's at 5. So I mean,
Well, Good Friday is out. What about Thursday the 25th in the evening? Is that over programming you? No? Okay, so let's plan on Thursday, April 25th for induction. I will need 3 or 4 of you to help me with the script. Does anybody want to try to get a guest speaker, like maybe a regional officer or an instructor on campus? Who else have we had as guest speakers? Do you know anybody local that would be an interesting speaker? Any of that sort of stuff would work. But if we start thinking about that now, we should be able to send out an invitation maybe right when we get back from convention. See if we can't get a guest speaker. If not, the induction ceremony is fine on its own. I'll speak a little bit about PTK and our mission, all that sort of stuff. Just keep in mind that we're going to have a mock chapter over the summer for those of you who are returning in the fall. Let's see if I have it on my calendar yet. I don't think I do. It's usually around the 3rd week in July, somewhere in there. Those of you that went to mock chapter, who went to mock chapter last year? For those of you who haven't experienced it, could you explain a little bit about what you did?
that was actually fun. I was the PTK that I was like picking groups of people you don't know, and then of course they did it again, but it like wasn't that bad because you're gonna be with people that you're gonna meet international from your region, so it's not gonna be that bad. And like you'll get to go out into like we did it when we was in Columbiana,
Mm-hmm.
and it was like a 4-H camp. You know, 4-H camps that like to take you out into like the woods and stuff.
Oh, that's leadership. I'm talking about mock chapter. It was at Jeff State.
Yeah, that was just it was just a day trip. Yeah, we did get to like we got put
Yeah.
into different
Mhm.
groups and we had to like come up with like a project idea just to like kind of introduce like the idea of what like honors and action is about and that kind of thing. So.
And at our next meeting, we're actually going to plan our summer schedule in terms of talking to administration, researching the Honors and Action Project, getting a college project together. I want to get started earlier this year so we can complete a little bit more. Leadership is what we were talking about the Columbiana trip, which is fun. There's a lot of team building and leadership exercises that you do. It's outside, you get to go outdoors. And often we have pretty good speakers there as well. Last year we had, was it last year or the year before, we had one of the international officers there. I think it was the year before.
No,
We had it.
Ellen was there first.
Oh, that's right, that's right. So we'll have some of the folks from the international office there to give us updates. And this year we had something that I thought I was going to hate and ended up liking was the drum circle guy. He was kind of a motivational speaker, and everybody got drums and instruments, and we made a lot of noise. And it sounds awful. It sounds like a hippy dippy horrible thing.
Actually, was already here. We walked in late, and we're just like, they're like, come into the inner circle. We were like,
I was like, do what?
in the very like,
In the
right. I was like,
like little shakers and stuff.
But it was fun. It was fun and memorable. But it's a worthwhile exercise insofar as you get to know some of the other members of your organization, get to team build, get to do a little bit of networking. You're probably going to find people that if you're going off and planning on transferring, that you may end up transferring to the same school, and it's always a good thing to know some people. Is that for the drum circle?
yes, it is.
I could hear the maracas.
It's only 11 seconds. I do understand. And like there are like a lot of outside activities that each group will go to. And there was this, which was like a swing thing.
I didn't even make it up halfway.
And they took you all the way back. And then you swing.
You don't have to train us.
No.
I can do that. I can do that.
You'd have to sign a waiver before you go.
Did you do the slingshot thing? I think it's, you're really close to the,
Yeah.
really close to the tree. Did you do it? Yes. The slingshot.
She's showing video of
I'm like
the leadership
right on that
event in
right there.
September.
They have it like cleared and like nobody, I forgot what they call the zone where you can get kicked. They're like, no, don't go over there. Every time somebody walked across, it was a lot of fun though. It took me forever.
My youngest, when he was about 2, walked in front of a swing set where somebody was swinging. He got launched. I mean, he just got clobbered. Yeah, it was a fun day. Oh, true.
You can also go, they have like a canoeing, which is
Mhm.
very fun. I enjoyed
I
it.
got in a canoe.
But-
I didn't swim, but I made it.
Piece of advice, don't wear a t-shirt. Be smart and wear a tank top for that day.
What's that girl's name that wore tank top? That's not her.
I don't remember her name, but she had on a tank top. But I had on a t-shirt and got in the canoe, had to roll my sleeves up because my arms were on fire.
Yeah, that's a real crapshoot as far as the weather goes, because it's late September. So I believe it's the third weekend in September for the leadership conference. Now, officer team. I do want to put together the officer team for next year. The way that I like to do it is ask for volunteers to be part of the officer team. Although what I'm going to do differently this year is we're going to do a contract. The idea behind this is hopefully I'm asking for Phi Theta Kappa officer scholarships. So if you're part of the officer team, I may be able to get scholarship money for spring semester of 2020. Cross my fingers. Things are a little bit in flux right now with honors being dissolved and the ambassadors kind of taking that role. I'm hoping to get a few scholarships for Phi Theta Kappa officers. And on the fall schedule, there's going to be that PTK leadership class as well. That we'll talk about at our next meeting because the fall schedule will be out by then. And that's a thing that everybody should know. The summer schedule is actually being edited today and should be out Monday if you're planning on taking summer classes. If you're taking them from me, I don't know how much I'm going to be up here. I have to have back surgery this summer, so I have to teach full load too. So we'll see how all that works out. Crossing my fingers, I'm not in a wheelchair. What's that?
That's my mom has back problems and she considers surgery, but that's what she's afraid of, is that they'll hit something and she
I'm starting to get to the point that I don't care. If I can't feel my legs, they won't hurt anymore. So, that's kind of where I am.
It's probably her consensus is going to be on it.
Yeah, that's also one of the symptoms for the particular vertebrae that I have would be incontinence. And I want to have surgery before that happens.
It'd be fun stuff.
Surgery would prevent it. I want to be clear, but that's. I think that was my doctor's way of trying to convince me to get surgery. So anyway, but yeah, look for the schedules to come out. The one thing I cannot stress to you guys, and since you are, part of leadership organizations, both this one and honors, a lot of you, is to your friends who aren't in honors, that are going to the school, or maybe juniors or seniors rather in high school, they're coming here next year. I can't emphasize enough how important it is to pre-register. Because if a fall class after, April has 3 people in it, they may cancel it, even though it might go up at registration. A lot of times they try to streamline the schedule early, so I cannot emphasize enough that please pre-register for classes if you're taking them for either the summer or the fall once fall's available, because you're going to be doing your part to help classes make. Because if they don't make, it frustrates students, it frustrates faculty, we lose money, you lose benefits, it's all tricky. So, all right, so bottom line, if you're watching this video, and for the people here, if you're interested in being part of next year's officer team, please shoot me an email so I can keep it in a file folder. We'll be looking to put an officer team together at our next meeting, which will be 2 weeks from now, on April 9th. Okay? So we'll plan a meeting again on the 9th, probably at the same time, because I have a meeting at 2 in Atmore on that day. Okay? Any questions or excited?
It's gonna be my.
Mm-hmm.
I will put on some.
Okay. Well, I'll record them like I'm recording this one.
I might be on Trinity week, so.
Well, hopefully not. Go in there wearing, I don't know, a t-shirt that's on some extreme that isn't that offensive, like a Peace Corps t-shirt or something. You'll get, well, don't wear a t-shirt. You gotta wear dress nice. You're on a court.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Or like a something like either Alabama or Auburn, because people are pretty extreme about that. So,
Yeah. Auburn's a good basketball school now, I guess. Which isn't what people care about. All right, I'm gonna shut down the video. All right.